to imaginativvisions.com. This is Page Turners, where I talk about books, do book reviews. And today, this Page Turner is going to be a little bit different, my friends, because today's Page Turner is not a recent novel that I'm planning to review, which will be Sublimation by Isabel J. Kim. Stay tuned for that at the end of the month. But today's Page Turners, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite children's books growing up. And I saw this back during reading Rainbow, and I saw the episode, and I made my mom go get it for me because I just had to have this book. And I actually got this book for my nephew, so I will be passing it on to him. But today I want to talk to you about my favorite children's book. What will it be? Caps for Sale by Esphyr Slobodkina. And Cats for Sale is I always love this book because it's just a fun book. So let's talk a little bit about this. Cats for Sale is one of those children's books that proves that a simple idea can become unforgettable when it's told in the right way. The book follows a peddler who walks through town selling caps stacked high on his head. Having no luck selling them, he decides to rest under a tree. When he wakes up, his caps are gone and he discovers that a group of mischievous monkeys have taken them. What makes the book so special and why I love it so much is how playful and easy it is to follow. The story is simple enough for young children to understand, but it still has that rhythm, that humor, and that repetition that makes it fun to read out loud. And the repeated actions between the peddler and the monkeys create a call and response feeling that the kids can easily get involved in, or heck, they can even act out. And they can laugh, predict, and try to understand what happens next and play the role of the monkeys or the peddler. And the themes are a major reason why Caps for Sale still works so well. On the surface, it's a funny story about monkeys stealing caps, but underneath that humor is a story about patience, frustration, problem solving, and learning to think differently. The peddler tries to get his caps back, yelling, stomping, and shaking his finger, but the monkeys can only copy him. The solution does not come from getting angrier, it comes when his actions unexpectedly lead to the monkeys copying him in a way that helps him solve the problem. For young readers, that is a simple but important lesson. Sometimes the answer comes from staying with the problem and trying something different. It also teaches children about emotions in a very natural way. The peddler gets upset, and kids can understand why. He'd worked hard, he lost something important, and he feels helpless. But the book never becomes too heavy. It keeps the tone silly and safe, making it a great way for parents to talk with children about frustration, patience, and calming down when something does not go their way. I think parents should pick up this book because it's a perfect read aloud story. The repetition makes it easy for children to join in, which helps build early literacy skills, and kids can remember the pattern, repeat phrases, predict what the monkeys will do next, and connect the words to the actions on the page. That kind of interaction is exactly what makes reading fun for young children, especially me when I was a kid. The reading level also makes it a strong choice for preschool, kindergarten, and early elementary school readers. Young children will enjoy hearing it read out loud, while beginning readers can start recognizing the repeated words, sentence patterns, and practicing their speech as well. It's especially good for children of the ages 6 to 7. Even older kids may still find some enjoyment in the humor in the classic style. For me, Capture Cell is my favorite children's book because it captures what childhood reading should feel like. It's funny, it's silly, it's memorable, and it's easy to revisit. It does not need a complicated plot. Lord does not need to. It's a children's book, for goodness sakes. And it's huge or even huge dramatic lessons to make an impact. It teaches children without talking down to them and entertains them without trying too hard. And I want to read one or two pages from my favorite book, Caps for Sale, so parents can see how fun this book was for me as a kid. So let's open it up real quick and let's read a little bit of it. Hopefully, I can get everything here on the camera, folks. So let's do it. See, Caps for Sale. All right. So, and it reads as follows. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on the top of his head. First, he had his own check cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and onto the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said and he walked out of town slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own check cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep and he slept for a long time. And I'm going to stop it right there, my friends, because if you want to go finish this book, go support it, go pick it up, and check this out. Caps for Sale. This is Justin from ManchesterVisions.com. This has been Page Turners, and I talked about one of my favorite children's books, Caps for Sale. So if you like what we do here, hopefully we earned your subscription. So please hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. And I'll be back with more Page Turners where I will be reviewing an actual novel for us adults. So check that out pretty soon. I'm almost done reading it for the month. So I'll catch you on the next review, my friends. Later days.